What's up, everyone? You are tuned in to the channel Eps episode 131. I'm your host, EEPMON, because there is none other. So today, I'm going to get real a little, and I'm going to talk about 5 things when I realized when I got fired from a job. All right, so the story goes back in 2006 or 2007. It's been a while. I was pretty much a web flash star. I built some great websites, especially Flash. Made a lot of money on my own, and that helped pay my tuition. And I even won many Flash competitions for my work that I've done. And the world of Flash, if you haven't heard of it, I recommend you to Google Adobe Flash. Once was called Macromedia Flash, and then prior to that, I think there was another company that was the original creator. Anyway, it's a great program for me because it was an application that truly combined my interests in arts and design, user interface with code. Kind of like when I talked about in my previous episode, a Java programming class where our assignment was to create a calculator. We had to use the Java library swing components to create the buttons, learn about event notification, triggering, capturing the events in code, and then um, create a result from the function call. Anyway, just I don't want to get too much of the code jargon. Flash was exactly like that. And in fact, you can do object oriented programming. So a lot of my programming and just like learning came from that world. Now, I don't want to digress too much about that. What happened is that I was, you know, rising up in the world and the ranks, and I got a job. Now I was still a student back then. I was still a student, and I got a summer job to work at a company which I would not name. And I remember how they were all like, buddy, buddy, welcome to the family. You're so great. Showering you with sweet and flowery words of praise. And it felt good. You got paid, you got some benefits, you did your thing. But you know me, I'm an artist, I'm a creator. Nothing can be more amazing or nothing can beat being free. Okay, as artists, we need our freedom to explore, to create. It was very nice that I can work in a company. However, during that time, in parallel, even before I worked that company, I was getting gigs. I had clients already. Like I said, it paid my tuition. I've been working with clients over in worldwide, US, Asia. I worked for pretty big multinational firms, and I don't think that the company that I worked for really liked that idea. Let alone jump to 2024. A lot of these corporations are pretty much nothing has changed. Their mentality, corporate mentality, has not changed, as you can see. A lot of people I've been noticing and hearing getting late. There's massive layoffs happening, and people are still starting to wake up, knowing that they're just a number in a big, big cog. It's a big system. You're in this. Let alone we're living in a matrix. You're in a matrix within a matrix within a matrix, and then you are expendable, no matter how productive and performative you are. At the end of the day, it's all about the company's bottom line, folks. It's all about the investors. It's all about up in stock value, seeing the numbers. As long as the numbers will look green, fire everyone. Anyway, I'll get to that later. So, I have 5 things I want to talk about. That being said, I'm just rambling right now. I'm rambling. Okay, so before I talk about 5 things, I remember that I was invited. I did I was working parallel, do my own things. I didn't like it, and uh, they called me in one day, and they just were not happy that the fact that I'm working with other clients, and essentially told me to pack my bags and go home. The fact that they did not like at all. They think it's some sort of like a conflict of interest, which is not, because I already have these clients and I've been already pursuing my own clients without them. So that was my first like inclination that, wow, this corporate culture is very toxic. They're like two-faced. One day they can be your buddy, and next day they can like lay you off at like a dime and not care about you because their ego has been smashed by a student at the time. So that was my realization. I realized, wow, me single-handedly can intimidate a company. That's my realization, my epiphany, that and eureka moment. Like, wow, I could actually do this on my own. I couldn't care less about praise and flowery words. The fact that I'm actionable and I'm proving that I have real results, simply from also like the big indicator was getting fired by that company. Realized I have so much potential and growth that even being within a company would really restrict me. So I learned that very, very early in my life, in my early career life. So on that note, I want to talk about these 5 things, and I want to, add more to these context. So number 1, what I realized is it's not the end. If you get fired, it's not the end. It's a new beginning. So getting fired can feel, of course, devastating, but it's often a push towards something better. Many people find that losing a job opens up new doors they never expected. It gives you the space to reevaluate your path and focus on what you really want to do. So, case in point, what I just said about my experience is that, yeah, it was a shocker. It was a gut to the stomach. I felt betrayed too. I felt like, wow, these people who were once like my buddies suddenly turn 180 on me and told me to pack my bags and go home. Could you believe that? They said that. And I was just a young student. And when I think back, it was like, wow, like maybe it's more like thank you, because, as number 1 states, it opened up new doors. It was a realization. The epiphany was like, wow, perhaps I can truly pursue my own endeavors, being a creative entrepreneur. Because I've got the skills, I've got the talent. It's just a matter of doing the outreach, which I already have been, because I've got exposure in competitions. I got featured online, all these things. So I learned it early and I gave it a shot. And of course, to reevaluate myself, when you get fired or laid off, I know it's a cutthroat, because we're so used to society, corporate structure, and the education system in which we were born into has this very process, methodological, if that's even a word, systematic way of going through education and then coming out, turning out people to contribute towards the great economy. And when you're in that lemmings hamster wheel process, of course, the job prospects and whatnot is the next in line. And then you just like school, you gotta attend every day at the job if you get a job, and then you get fed. You get fed every 2 weeks if you're fortunate enough. You get paid. You get these benefits. Everything is great. So it was back in the day where such a job was sustainable. So okay, I have this cadence of every 2 weeks I get paid, so I can now forecast and prioritize certain things, investments. Maybe I have a house. Maybe I will, I can, really figure out like what my grocery bill is going to be like. Maybe I can afford some from some vacation and have budget these things, which is fine, which is fantastic, and it should be. Unfortunately, now, if you look around, we are increasingly living in a very volatile world that when you are in that system and suddenly cut, you're like, your computer's locked, emails cannot not access. It's like as if part of your life has disappeared. Like it was like part of you died. You know what I mean? And I totally understand how that feels. But remember, I want to say these things because we've been through it. I've been through it. And it's a moment of pause, reevaluate, reflect. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and see with a fresh new slate, what other options can you pursue? What can you do? This is your moment. Go back to the hamster wheel or try something that's a 180 degrees. And as I mentioned, the 180 is usually where a lot of the adventure and opportunities lie. Well, this is going to be a long episode, folks. I'm already 12 minutes in. Number 2. Oh my God. Self-worth isn't defined by a job or jobs. Your value isn't tied to your position or company. It's easy to associate self-worth with professional titles. Oh, I'm a director. I'm a co-founder. I'm a investor. I'm a banker, dentist, blah, blah, blah. It's easy to associate self-worth with professional titles, but getting fired reminds you that your skills, talents, and passions go beyond the role you held. This can empower you to redefine yourself on your terms. The thing is interesting, folks, that human beings, as I observed, I'm like an alien. I'm an alien, okay? Like to categorize. We like to categorize things. We like to put titles on ourselves. We want to show that we have worth, perceived worth in this matrix type world. Because as soon as you categorize a position, then already majority of society's wavelength in their brain, they're like, oh, okay, if it's a director, then already checkbox, this person has established all these things. So already a perceived impression has been created and generated in the person's mind, which is quite an interesting psychology. But as with all things, as with all materialistic things, the idea of a position is also a materialistic thing, though more on an abstract capacity. But to be truly free and be truly in your own terms, and when you get when you get fired for a job, like it's not the end of the world. Like, isn't it strange that a lot of society is really defined by a job? A job, like it's defined by a corporation. Talking about corporation has a grip on us. We put so much of our worth by these definitions that is like you're so attached to it. Why are we so attached to it? So you got to check yourselves, and that your self-worth, your integrity as a human being, as a person, what you can contribute to the world is far beyond a categorization or categorizations. So remember that. And I remember that's what I think. Like, like, wow, I mean, I'm a creative technologist when I was working at that company. And then I got fired, and I'm not a creative technologist anymore. Oh my God, it's over. My life is over. Like, no, I mean, like, wow, it's liberating. It's like, oh, thanks. Yeah, kind of woke up. Number 3, comfort zones can stunt growth. We've heard so many topics and discussion about being complacent in comfort zones. Sometimes we stay in jobs that don't challenge us simply because they feel safe. Getting fired or laid off forces you to leave that comfort zone and confront new challenges, which can ultimately spark growth, creativity, and innovation in ways you didn't anticipate. Now, I remember I worked several jobs back in the day, really good jobs that could have gotten me a big house, continue to pay my health insurance, live happily ever after. I probably could have got married and had kids. You know what I mean? The the thing is that job I had back then um felt safe. It felt safe at the point, but then it also felt there was a part of me that I felt um creatively drained. Like I was losing my passion. I was losing my passion to create. Because I knew what was expected of me. This is the assignment. Just like school, folks, here's your new assignment. This is what you got to do. It's being taken care of you because we have a project manager and that reports to blah, 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 blah. You just got to do the task. And because of these tasks are defined, again, look, I'm an artist. I can only speak for myself. In order to truly manifest and potentially activate my potential, I couldn't be within this box. And I have observed from my contemporaries who work and continue to work big renowned companies with have quite a reputation, who are also talented creatives. They are jaded, folks. They're stressed, they're jaded because of the box that they're being placed in. They are not truly filling the potential that they are capable of. Instead, they are given an assignment to do something that pretty much 90%, I'll say 99%, they will be noticed by no one. No one. So, comfort zones can stunt growth. In the event that you do get laid off and fired, and which I did, is like a spark of new life, new energy. And I'm like, wow, for the first time, I am free to choose more carefully in the direction I want to go. The path I went for is establishing my own company or my own creative digital studio, EEPMON. And it wasn't easy, folks. It was not easy. But I prefer the volatility in pursuing my own path than stunting my growth and be complacent, expecting to be spoon-fed of an assignment. Now that's just I'm being really transparent with you folks. This is the creative entrepreneur speaking. Okay. I know this is gonna like shock some people. I know some people might not even like to hear this. But this is the truth. This is the facts. There are a lot of people who talk who talk like, bravado, hot air, only talk the talk, right? You just talk shit. Very far and few who can really execute and are authentic. So I am who I am, and I'm speaking the truth here. Now, number 4. Job security is an illusion. As I said before many times, and I've learned, nothing ever lasts forever. You think you have it great. You think you have it now. But this too shall pass. Everything shall pass. The ups, the successes, the glory will pass. Your failures, your demise, your defeat will also pass. Therefore, job security is too an illusion and shall pass. We often assume that working for someone else provides stability, but getting laid off / fired reveals that no job is truly secure. This realization can push you to explore entrepreneurial avenues or build multiple streams of income, leading to more control over your future, which is true. And again, I think that it is healthy, especially in this day and age, folks. It is very healthy to always look for other avenues of opportunity. As we engage in an increasingly technological society, as we increase in what appears to be in a polarized world, a volatile world, a more is interesting. It's interconnected, yet is also sort of segmented based on ideologies, based on geopolitical tensions, based on who holds the keys to technological prowess. Observe what is happening around the world, and that the opportunities in which, if you do seek to become a creative entrepreneur, there are beacons out there, but you have to really hone in and watch for them. But know that it's always, I think it's healthy that by thinking that nothing ever lasts forever, and that you're always on your tippy toes, you're always be very aware. Don't catch yourself slacking. Don't catch yourself being thinking that you're being comfort or complacent. That the job security is not be naive, folks. Let's not be naive. Job security is never it's never a thing. But then again, like I said, if you understand that, be on the lookout for things that may pop out. And by being entrepreneurial in this sense is like to take the steps necessary to seek them out, seek the opportunities. I hope that made sense. Number 5, the importance of adaptability. Yes, so it really rhymes with number 4, as I mentioned. So if in the event, like, so when I got fired from the job, again, it taught me about reflecting what I'm good at, why I was fired, and instead of being depressed and sad about it, I was like, wow, thank you for showing me the light of where I can go, what I'm capable of. Like I measured myself. I was like, wow, I single-handedly intimidated a company because of my reach and the potential that I can go towards. And therefore, like I said, I started my own company. And I started with EEPMON, just getting my work out there, being really proactive, and explored all the avenues in which I can cater to or engage in. So as I mentioned, I'm a digital first creator, and I find myself increasingly being adaptable in different industries. And that's the power of being digital, at least for me, like a digital creator. I'm a digital first, right? I'm in cultural institutions. I'm in academia. I'm doing speaking engagements. I'm doing digital art. I'm doing blockchain and NFTs. I know some people hearing that blockchain NFTs, you don't like to hear that word, but you don't like to hear this. But why? Why do you not like to hear this? Do you know that this is an opportunity? As I speak right now, I'm exploring this because first, number one, it's totally hand in glove in my world. In fact, I feel vindicated as a digital artist because now finally we can create a provenance and ledger about digital content. And if you don't understand that, you should really understand and do a deep dive about what blockchain technology is, okay? I'm giving you a bit of an alpha. The opportunities are in these this new pivot in our technological evolution, okay? Artificial intelligence. People are totally shitting on artificial intelligence right now. But it's the same cycle over and over again. I've seen this with the internet. I've seen this people swiping credit cards for the first, using credit cards online, even getting a credit card. People are like, I had a conversation with somebody, and he was like, I remember this OG guy. He's like, I remember when credit cards came out for the first time, people couldn't even understand what that is. Like, credit card? I'd rather hold cash in credit card. So there's all these these transitions. There's always a battle between the tradition and the modernity. And we're going through another cycle right now with artificial intelligence, with blockchain technology, with quantum computing, robotics, IoT, right? Like there's a big fight again about of the winners or the ones who embrace it and those who are totally have nothing to do it. And it's interesting. I'm noticing as an artist, I'm noticing my camp of illustrators, designers, artists. Oh, there's a big fight right now. There's a big fight right now. It's like, oh, this and that, and steal my information, and why should I, it's gonna lose all my jobs. I should have another discussion about that because I had a really good discussion about this topic when I was at the UN General Assembly events, the UNGA events when I was in New York. But yeah, anyway, adaptability, friends. Where people are hating is probably in such an industry is probably where the opportunity lies, folks. People were totally hating the internet. They're saying the internet was a fad. Can you believe that, folks? Those people who are hating AI and hating blockchain, NFTs and shit are the same mental process of the people who hated the internet. Think about it. Think about it. Okay? So, it's a bit of a rant, but also I'm giving you guys a reality check. 5 things I went over. 1, it's not the end. It's a new beginning. 2, self-worth isn't defined by a job. 3, comfort zones can stunt growth. 4, job security is an illusion. 5, the importance of adaptability, especially in this day and age, in the digital world, and soon the quantum age, folks. But that's what I realized. I'm just giving you my straight up facts, my authentic self, and my experience when I got fired. When I got fired, you're fired. You're fired. I just find it so comedic and kind of silly. But for those who are looking for answers, I hope that this gives you a bit of a dose of reality. And in my world, I'm always I have embraced the volatility. I have embraced the unknowns, the uncertainties. It is part of integrated my life. It's part of my life. It is what it is. But I love it, and I absolutely love it because that's when I know I am living, that I am accountable, that I'm responsible for my own actions. So much so, like I've developed such a strong intuition that I can read people like a fucking book. Sorry for my language. I don't know if that's gonna get. I don't know if that's gonna affect the YouTube algorithm, but I'm serious. So those people who think they know how to who can try to manipulate based on their tactics on me, the game is won, folks. I have them cornered. Anyway, it's a game of strategy. It's a role playing game. I love it. I hope you like what I had to say. This episode 131, Channel Eeps, a little dose of reality here. And I hope you like what I say. Leave a comment if you like. But folks, remember, we are human beings. Don't feel that that your world is crumbling because you lost a job. It's just a job. Okay? If you really look at the bigger picture, we are grateful to simply be human beings. I don't want to get too spiritual. I could do a totally new episode about spirituality. But like, think about it. Pretty much we are the apex of the world. We are grateful that we can choose where we want to go, think about ideas and where we want to pursue. I don't think many animals can do that. So we have the most complex chemical reactor. This human being, this like don't let a job affect this being. Like, what a job? Like, who cares? So move forward, keep on going, and know that this too shall pass. Okay, I'm gonna stop ranting. Have a great night. Have a great afternoon. Have a great morning. I'm going to Japan soon in a couple days. Can't believe it. Follow me on Instagram @EEPMON. Bye.